Race morning, getting pretty excited here. London 2024, bucket list race, gonna go for a massive personal best. There's one thing that's gonna help me get there. That.
Wait a minute, what?
Let's go back 3 years to when me and my best friend Alex Moran decided to link all the mountains on Skye and Mull by running, climbing, cycling and swimming our way to raise over £12,000 for the Martin Moran Foundation, a charity which breaks down barriers for young people to access the outdoors. Keen for another fundraiser, we both entered the London Marathon. I was to run dressed as a mountain and Alex, the mountaineer.
Hey Alex, the London Marathon ballot results are out today. I think we need to brace ourselves for rejection because apparently over 578,000 people entered.
My fears came true. I didn't make it into the London Marathon this year.
Can't believe I'm going to have to do this alone, dressed like a complete idiot. No.
Have you ever wondered what it's like training in Glasgow, Scotland? I'm only joking, it was sunny once. More importantly, for the mountain costume I needed plans and blueprints. It needed to be accurate, ergonomic, aerodynamic and aesthetic.
Not sure about that.
With the plan set in stone, I began meticulously measuring all the dimensions to decide which bag to use. Good enough for rock and roll, so I hit the internet, bought all the materials that I needed and set to work. In case you're wondering, yes, I do wear the same jumper all winter. Anyway, I'll lie and say it wasn't long before I had a workable prototype.
Week 1, cold January on the canal. 2, fine. 3, getting into it. 4, fine. 5, wet. 6, getting on top of speed. 7, exhausted.
8, sick. This week off running gave me the opportunity to ponder the history of the Forth and Clyde Canal. Opened in 1790, it links the Firth of Forth and the River Clyde. Its decline began with fishing vessels getting too large, but the real nail in the coffin was the same that still haunts commuters across the UK today: the British Railways. However, not only is the canal now fully paved and ideal for marathon training, it also provides one of the largest outdoor dumping points for bottles of Buckfast thrown in by wee bams or anyone else who hates the environment. So with the final alterations coming together on the frame, there was only one more thing to do.
I'm going to the sewing shop this afternoon to hopefully finish the costume. It's ridiculous.
However, mistakes were made on my part.
So I thought it was a good idea to take the pole blocking my vision out. It's close quarters. Wish me luck. Look at it.
With time running short, I put on my Art Attack hat and got busy with the arts and crafts.
Nine, 20k PB this week. 10, heavy legs, heavy costume. 11, easier week.
12, speed work, feeling good.
13, surviving. 14, surviving. 15, taper. So it's been wind and gales in Glasgow for the last 2 weeks, but 1 week out from London Marathon, finally we've got a break in the weather, so we're going to go and test it. So I was having trouble with the mountain sort of blowing into the front of my body. So I've made these. So I think this is going to do the trick. It's sort of stopping some of the sideways rotation on it as well. Yeah, feeling thoroughly strapped in right now.
With the costume complete and my training finished, all that remained was to put in a completely unrealistic finishing time. Dream big, fail hard. And just before we left, the cherry on the mountain cake, hitting the fundraising target.
We did it! 16, leaving for London.
Saturday morning I went to pick up my number, and then it was back to the house to meet my support team, the best in the business.
Who's that guy? Absolute hive of activity at the Martin Moran Foundation headquarters here. It's almost ready to go, pretty excited now. Numbers on, just going to put a few transfers on the side. Flags going up. And we'll be done.
First thing on race morning came Alex's moment to shine. I knew I could trust him to safely take my costume to the start line.
Do you know where you're going?
Yeah, I'm getting it started. Let's go. It's the morning of the marathon, Mike. How are you feeling?
Pretty good, a little bit nervous. Forecast for a little bit of wind. Yeah, God, it's a bit windy. A bit windy today, a little bit windy on the windy side today. I hopefully not get blown over.
How you feeling, Mike?
Yeah, pretty good. A little bit like I'm about to throw up.
I think you're going to quite enjoy this, Mike. It's really good.
Good luck.
This is it, coming up to the start line.
Feeling a little bit overdressed for the occasion and a ridiculous 3-hour pace in the back of my head, I set off at a speed that was bound to have consequences, completely forgetting the plan from 10 minutes previously.
I'm wondering whether I should maybe hold back on my start time a little bit.
Well, that didn't happen.
That's 10 kilometres, still going pretty strong I think.
My mountain was like the sails of the Cutty Sark, catching the wind and trying to blow me off course. The London Marathon crowd needs to be seen to be believed, and I couldn't see most of them, and I couldn't believe the energy they were bringing.
About halfway on the very verge of massive cramp. I missed the water stop, but just had a litre, so hoping I'm going to make a bit of a comeback for the end.
We've just seen Mike, and he's currently on track to do a sub 3:15 pace, which is pretty impressive. It was great seeing him come past.
30k, definitely slowed down a little bit now. Cramping not so bad.
Having recovered slightly, you could say I hit peak performance, running through the streets with style and form like, well, someone in a giant costume.
36 kilometres, I just fell over.
Slightly bloodied and looking a little worse for wear after this major geological event, the mountain thundered on.
Nearly 38k, almost there. Less than 2k to go. Oh God, thanks so much to everyone who donated. It's going to make a massive difference. It's just amazing to support the next generation, but also a large degree of idiocy on my part. Thanks so much. Last kilometre. I've never cramped so much in my life. Oh my God, that's how it's done.
Mike has just crossed the finish line. Unfortunately, we couldn't get right to the finish line to see him. He's basically just smashed it in that massive mountain costume. Mike did this today to fundraise for the Martin Moran Foundation. We support young people facing barriers to get into the mountains and the outdoors. And we couldn't do what we do without fundraising events like this and people's generous donations. Thank you to all of those who've supported so far. And if you can, please hit the link below and help us do the work we do every year. Thanks.
Absolutely demolished. That's pretty wild. God, I'm going to feel that tomorrow. It turns out that 3.5 kilogram mountain really ruins your 3-hour marathon splits. That is an absolutely wild ride.